and welcome to another episode of the Dreaded Archer podcast. This is episode 7, and today my special guest is Mr. Cliff Cadet. How you doing today?
Oh, what's going on, man? How are you?
Ah, man, doing pretty good. Like we just talking about, man. Ready for the weekend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Been a
Oh
busy
yeah.
week for me.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you guys just got off a busy season with Christmas just wrapping up, or not just wrapping up a couple months ago.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's surprisingly enough, a lot of people don't know it stays busy for good 2, 3 weeks into the new year with us. With UPS and whatnot. Everybody thinks that once Christmas is over, it's dead, but you gotta remember there's still all those New Year's sales and whatnot, and
Yep.
so people taking advantage of that. So it's still going crazy. Not to mention we got hit with some snow not too long ago, so that backed us up a little bit.
Oh yeah, snow definitely. Yeah, I know about the snow here in South Dakota, man. Like some days it'll be 60 degrees, the next day it's negative 15 and 6 inches of snow. Like, goodness gracious, make your mind up.
Facts.
Oh man, but I'm glad to have you as a guest. I started following you on Instagram, and dude, I really love your stuff, and started reading a couple of your articles, and I'm like, man, I gotta get this guy on the podcast, man. I gotta talk to him, man.
I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
So so tell me a little bit about your archery journey. Like, what got you into it, and how's it been?
All right, so I'm born and raised in New York City. Born and raised in Brooklyn. I live out in Queens now with my wife and kids. And growing up, archery wasn't anything that I knew about. I mean, I knew of it because I used to read a lot as a kid growing up, and I was really big into Greek mythology. I love stories of King Arthur, things like that. So archery was something you could say was a fantasy for me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It wasn't anything growing up on my block. I didn't know anybody that did it, that shot archery, anything like that. Now, in 2017, my cousin and his daughter took up archery as something for them to do on the weekends, just a little thing for them to do. And I happened to be with him that summer in a big box store out here, and I'm walking down the aisles with him, and like no pun intended, I pulled the trigger and bought one. You know what I'm saying? Came home with a bow, arrows, a case, you know what I'm saying? Everything I needed. I got one of those package bows, so I had everything on it. Sight, stabilizer, whole nine. Um and it that was the summer of 2017. Like a kid with a brand new toy, I was shooting like crazy. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Or going to the range on a regular basis. But then by 2018, I was barely shooting it because again, like a kid with a new toy, after a while, just like you put it on the side,
You get kind of old
whatnot.
to you.
Yeah, right. So so that's 2018. Then the late 2018, I want to say December of 2018, I uh I was like, you know what? I don't feel like spending no money on range fees anymore. So I live in an apartment with my wife and kids, but my mother-in-law owns a house. So I bought my own target. Asked my mother-in-law, it's all right if I shoot in her driveway. She was cool with it, and I started shooting pretty consistently. Late 2018. Then January 2019, um, I came across the ATA show on social media, and that's when I really got introduced to kind of like the big hunting names, like Cam Haynes, John
Yeah.
Dudley, um, and guys like that, and then really planted the seed of bow hunting for me. And so that year, that January, I created my Urban Archery NYC Instagram page, and I started reaching out to people and started asking questions from anyone that was willing to let me pick their brain. I was doing so. And initially, what it was I was trying to find like other brothers on social media
Oh
that
yeah.
hunt. You know what I'm saying? um and so what I found was like what I initially I thought at first was that it was either that brothers don't hunt, you know what I'm saying, or they do and they just don't really share it on social media like that, because there are so many hunting pages on Instagram.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So when I finally started coming across people of color that hunted, a lot of them coming from the South, even the Pacific Northwest, you know what I'm saying, like Oregon and whatnot.
Yep. Yep.
And for me, I couldn't relate. You know what I'm saying? I'm not from the South. I wasn't raised in a rural area, anything like that. You know, and it was, I'm sorry, it was just that, let me put it this way, it was eye opening for me realizing that, um, there's not too many people of color from big cities who hunt. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it became about for me, was just trying to, I don't want to say I wanted to become an example, but I did want people to see like, there are people from metropolitan areas that hunt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just been fun, a whole lot of fun,
Right.
for here, bro. Like, um, I've met a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, through social media, a few in person, you know what I'm saying. I've gotten the opportunity to be mentored by a really good dude out here. Um, just learning a lot, learning about the public land that's available, that's just like an hour outside the city. You know what I'm saying? That growing up, I didn't know existed. Like even my cousin who, like I said, I bought, he was there when I purchased my first bow. Like we were both amazed as to like, oh wow, this is like at less than an hour's drive from
It's
where
like
I
right
live in
there.
Queens, right there, you know what I'm saying? And it's hundreds of acres of land that's available that technically, like they say, public land owner, we own.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? As just
Pay them
citizens of this
taxes.
country.
You own it.
Facts, facts. So it's just been so dope just learning about, um you know what I'm saying, the species of animal that's available to hunt so close to my city, the habitat that's so close to the city. So it's like I've just been trying to, I'm acting like a sponge, man, just trying to soak it all up and just enjoy it while I can.
We know it's wild because you started in 2017 and I got my boat in 2017.
Oh, word. All right.
Yep, and it's the same thing, man. So when I moved to South Dakota in 2015. Now, growing up, my dad and all his cousins hunted, but they would never take me. Like I would always ask, and he was like, "No, you're not ready yet." Well, when I was like 8, he got me a BB gun. I was like, "If you learn how to shoot this, then I'll get you a rifle, and then we can start hunting."
Hmm.
Well, I learned to shoot the BB gun. Then I was like, "Hey, I'm shooting pretty good." And he was like, "Oh, just give it some more time." Well, then I started playing football and other sports, and I was like, "Well, I'm no interest in hunting." So
Got
fast forward to 2015, moved to South Dakota. I so I'm a tobacco rep, so I'm driving all over the city,
it.
just
Hmm.
going to different gas stations and stuff. And I always pass this little. I see a sign that says archery shop, but I never saw an archery shop. Like, where is this? So I've never been to one.
Hmm.
So one day I got a little free time on my hands, and I'm like, I just pull it. It's this archery shop, and then there's like a dirt road. And I'm like, well, I'm just gonna pull down this dirt road. So as I'm going down the dirt road, I see the sign. It's like private property. I'm like, oh, I might not be going to the right spot.
Yeah, you going a little too far.
Yeah. So I just go in. Boom. I pull in and I see the gate and it says, archery outfitters. I'm like, oh, okay. So I go in and I pull up, but I don't go in. I'm like, because I saw, guys around it that didn't look like me. I'm like, not going in. So I back out and leave. I was probably there 5 minutes. So 2 weeks later, driving across the interstate and I see it again. So I exit. I'm like, I'm gonna go in this time. I go in and this guy's like, "Hey man, how you doing?" Immediately we started talking and he's like, "You know anything about archery?" I don't know nothing. Like, never even crossed my mind. I was like, I'm just, tell me what I need to do.
Hmm.
So he's just basically just gave me a package bow, got everything on it. It was a mission hammer. Gave me you got, sight, whisker biscuit, stabilizer, all that. They sized me for my arrows, got my draw length, and I mean, they made the experience just like seamless.
Really.
And just like you, as soon as I got home, I started looking up like, like black archers and nothing. Only person that came up was Trent Cole.
Yeah.
And I was and with the and at the time he was still playing for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hmm.
So I'm like, okay, like, well, at least I know at least one guy that no black guy that shoots his bow. So I get on Instagram, and all of a sudden I start just finding different guys. So I
Hmm.
made the Dreaded Archer page. Well, I already had my Instagram, so I just changed the name to Dreaded Archer. And all of a sudden, guys started posting me shooting my bow. Guys started following me, And I started realizing there's a lot of guys, that archery hunt. And I know that down south, I know a lot of guys that, brothers
Mm-hmm.
that archery hunt. But as I got up north, there's not that many. Matter of fact, I think at my archery shop, I'm the only brother that come in there to shoot.
Wow.
That's it.
All right.
So, you know, but I loved it. In the community, it's like it like welcomed me in, and guys are all like, "Oh man, you hunt?" Like, well, first when they realize that I hunt, they think I rifle hunt. I'm like, "Nah, I bow hunt." And then
Mm-hmm.
that like opens up a whole nother conversation. And then I started going to archery shoots and stuff like that, and just really just like you said, being a sponge
Mm-hmm.
and getting to know, learning the archery lingo and all that. And it's like this is a really cool sport, and it really helped me because once I started playing football, I kind of got into a depression, and I didn't know
Mm-hmm.
what to do next. And like archery was that thing that like started feeding that competitive beast again.
Mm-hmm. You know what's funny is like you mentioned that it almost feels like a hole. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's something that like challenges you and gets you focused. Because what's crazy was in 2013, I got hurt on the job. I tore a ligament in my ankle. And
Oh,
like all my life, I've played basketball. You know what I'm saying? Always played, grew up playing ball, played in high school and so on, right? And then now, after just 2 months of being out of work and rehabbing and stuff like that, I get back to work, I'm fine, but I'm finding mentally like I play scared now. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? I'm worried about injuring my ankle again. Like I'll play ball and I'll roll my ankle a little bit and I'm out of commission for like a week. So I started running long distance, and I ran the New York City Marathon twice, 2015 and 2016.
oh,
Like
nice.
I jumped right into it. Like, so it was kind of like it was one of those all or nothing type of deals, right? To the point like it kind of pissed my wife off because every morning I'm getting up like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, the clock like 10, 15, 17 miles or whatever. And she's like, she's getting up at like 8 o'clock in the morning, feeling around like, yo, where's my husband? You know what I'm saying? So I didn't give that up. I still what do you call it? I still run. But I found archery and I found bow hunting, but and I made the same mistake. I jumped head first into that.
Yep.
And again, pissing my wife off, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like I got tunnel vision. That's like all I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing my best now, you know what I'm saying, to make sure like I'm doing right by my wife and my kids. Cause this isn't something I grew up doing. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I'm 45, I'll be 46 this summer. And I only took it up 2, 3 years ago. Now 4 or 5, dang, 2017. Wow. So that 5 years ago, I picked up a bow for the first time. So like my wife respects the fact that there are hunters out there. She knows there are people for whom, hunting or bow hunting is a tradition. You know what I'm saying? They
Right.
grew up doing it. You know what I'm saying? She understands that there are people out there that um they hunt to fill the freezer because that's what they eat on a regular
Right.
basis. You know what I'm saying? But for us it's not a necessity because I could get off this recording with you right now, walk down the street, grab a steak from the local store and then come right back and cook it up. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Rather than driving an hour and a half at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday to go take down the deer. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I'm just trying to make sure like this, still fairly new hobby of mine, if you will, or passion more than because I really enjoy it. I really like it. Isn't gonna leave a negative impact on my family.
Right. So I know I read one of your articles, and you were talking about archery, not archery, but yeah, archery and hunting, and getting your family involved, and how your wife, she's not into it, she supports you,
Mm-hmm.
and that she found a couple of Bible verses that actually talk about hunting, and I'm like, hey, that's pretty neat because I didn't even know there were Bible verses about hunting. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, man. Like, so we're Christian, you know what I'm saying? And as a matter of fact, my wife and I were baptized together um a while back, maybe 8 or 9 years back. We were baptized together.
Oh, that's
And
nice, man.
so for us, our faith is big. You know, it's a big part of who we are as a family. So, you know, so like I said, like what I did, because all right, when I bought that bow, I ain't tell her. You know what I'm saying? So I bought that bow, and my dumb ass, like, we live in an apartment, and my dumb ass left it outside the apartment door. You know what I'm saying? But I forgot to bring it in the middle of the night. So the next morning, my wife's like, "Yo, what is this outside our door?" You know what I'm saying? So got caught red-handed. You know what I'm saying? And so what it is it's kind of difficult also because hunting is an expensive hobby.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're not gonna know how you perform with certain equipment, or you're not gonna know how you like certain equipment until you've bought it and used it.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be lucky if you could get, like, you could get that money back in terms of reselling that equipment.
Right.
So we have financial goals we're trying to reach. So picture we have these goals, and I'm out here spending money on a bow, on arrows, on this and that. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like
Yep.
that. So to a certain extent, some of it is my fault, because listen, to anybody listening out there, male or female, if you've got a spouse, if you got a significant other, you'll talk about this first, because
Yes.
the amount of time and money you're gonna invest in this, it could, if you don't talk about it first, it could put a little bit of stress on your relationship. But yeah, man, it's like, so what I try to do is, I try to include my family, because like I said, they're not into it, so I try to include my family into it. So, like, my wife keeps a calendar, one of the, a huge calendar, marks off stuff, like we have to do as a family, keep a schedule for the family. So you know what, when the time comes, like, for example, our spring turkey season is in May, so probably start of April, I'll grab that calendar and be like, "Yo, babe, what we got going on next month?" You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And be like, "All right, I'd like to go hunting this day. I'd like to go hunting this day," and so on. Work that out with her. And same thing with my kids. If I've gotta, I don't like the idea of having a scheduled time for my kids, but then I'll let the kids schedule me. Like, hey, what days do you want to do something? And daddy will just stay home, and like that. So that's what I try to do with them, include them in the whole planning process and whatnot. And it's funny, just before I got on here with you, um, my son, my little man's 9, and he's playing Minecraft, right?
Oh yeah, my daughter plays Minecraft a
Oh,
lot.
so he's talking about how he loves shooting his crossbow. I was like, and I looked at him, I was like, you could do that with me in real life, right? So I look at him, I was like, so if daddy got you a crossbow, you think you want to go hunting with him? And he's like, yeah, probably. And then I looked at my daughter's 13, and she was like, probably, right? And she was like, 'cause I like the way it looks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right. So that light bulb went off. So, if getting them into it would mean just purchasing like an inexpensive crossbow, I'd be down for that. Cause like I took my little man hiking with me, hiking slash scouting. That's what it was one day. Um, in the early fall, right before the deer season last year, and he had a blast. You know what I'm saying? We were walking through creeks and splashing through them. I was pointing out deer tracks, scat, and then we bumped 2 does. So that was the first time he'd ever seen deer before. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I
So
bet it blew his mind.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. He had a blast, and I want to get them all into it. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, it's only an hour away from where we live, so I mean, maybe they won't be too keen on the whole waking up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, but I think the end result, like, if it's kind of one of those, if I expose them to it in like small doses,
Yeah.
like if the well, the great thing is with spring turkey season, that's only from sunrise to 12 noon. So if they're able to hold out till 12 noon, cool. If not, 9, 10 o'clock, I don't mind getting out the woods, because you know what, that's a couple of hours that I've spent with them,
Right.
actually turkey hunting, and let them, kind of get comfortable with it to be able to do, a whole morning, and then possibly that'll evolve into deer season, and, you know, do a whole day sit with me.
Oh yeah, for sure. When you get into not just archery hunting, but just hunting period, a lot of people don't talk about the stress that it puts on the family. Because if you're the only one in hunts,
Mm,
and like your wife, when you're going out at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning into the woods, that could put a little stress on her. Like, is he gonna come home today? Is he all right? What's going on? And you hear about people falling out of tree stand and stuff all the time, but people don't talk about the stress it puts on the family and the fact that you're trying to get your family involved, and you're
Mhm.
also saying, hey, you know what, I need to make time because it will consume your time. It will.
Yeah,
Yep.
like I had there's a pretty popular female hunting group out here, just about an hour or two east of where I live in the city, and one of the founders of the group invited me to go hunting with her. Like she had access to private land. I was like, yo, I appreciate the offer, but I was like, with all due respect to my wife, I was like, I can't. She was like, huh? I was like, listen, I was like, me getting up at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning to go chill with a female in a tree stand all day long. I was like, that's disrespectful to my wife. I was
Yeah.
like, I can't do that. She was like, you know what? She's like, I totally understand that. And then that was it. It's like I found that as long as you keep it 100, you keep it a buck with whoever you're dealing with, for the most part, you're gonna get the respect that you want. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So I try to keep it real with people. You know what I'm saying? If I'm not going like because I'm putting my family first, yeah. Like I'll give you a perfect example. That very first season I hunted in 2019, that deer season I hunted a total of 3 days. That entire season. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Yeah.
because that was just before COVID hit, and my daughter was playing on her junior high school volleyball team, and my little man was playing in the church basketball league. I wasn't missing any of those
No, you can't
games.
miss none of those. Them
You know what I'm
precious
saying?
moments.
So, yeah, you know what? I did more reading and talking to people than I did hunting. But you know what? There's I know there are people. I'm not knocking guys who do it because it's funny. I once talked to one dude on Instagram and he was like, "Yo," he goes, "I feel guilty sometimes when I go and stuff like that because I'm missing games, I'm missing family functions and so." Yo, more power to them. You can do that. I pass no judgment on anyone. You know what I'm saying? I personally just can't do it. My kids are too young. You know what? My kids are probably gonna get to an age where they're just like, Dad, I don't want to hang out with you.
Yep.
Just go do you. But right now, I'm still cool enough that you know
They
what, they
still
don't
want they
mind
still
being
want you
around me.
around.
Yeah, exactly. So
Oh yeah. And on my last show, my friend Alex, he was talking about, his son is, I think, 3 years old now, and he was saying, hey, you know, from August to January, he goes, I'm in the hunting woods. He goes, but February, that whole month is to please the wife and the kids because I've been gone for so long. And he's like, hey guys, anybody listening, if you hunting that long, in February, put everything up.
yep,
put
see.
put everything up and just dedicate it all to the wife and kids because come March and April, I'll be fishing.
Ah, dang, brother's busy, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. He stays in Wood. He's down there in Arkansas, and like he duck hunts, deer hunts, both rifle, archery, shotgun with the duck, and he turkey hunts. So he stays in the woods.
Yeah, see, but then it's also about the family dynamic because the thing is, all right, I'm brand new to this. So my family, this came out of left field for my family. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? There's dudes who like they could tell their lady, like, you knew I did this when you met me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And stuff like that. So like I could understand the dudes that are getting into it late in life and they might have, a little difficulty getting their family accustomed to it. But then there's dudes who get out there and they met their girl and be like, yeah, I hunt. You know what I'm saying? And so this is what I do throughout these times. And of course, maybe the guy, and sometimes it could be the other way around. I don't mean to be assuming anything because sometimes it could be the female that hunts and then the
Right.
husband is he got to be like, okay, I'll sit here and wait for you, type of deal. You know what I'm saying? But either way, it's like if you get to meet your spouse when it's something you're already doing, you know what I'm saying? Then they already know what they're getting into. You know what I'm saying? Later on in life.
Oh, for sure, for sure. So, I forgot what I was going. I had a question on my head. I just totally forgot. So in New York, so do they have like youth seasons?
Yes, usually the a lot of the youth seasons take place. the weekend before um the regular opening season is.
Okay.
At least that's what I've seen. I don't know if it's the regular, because I want to say maybe this past year, 2021 was really the first time that I paid attention to when the youth seasons were. Because my kids are getting older. You know, my daughter's turning 14, so she's old enough to hunt. My little man's gonna be 10, and he's just gonna be old enough to be able to get into an archery range with me. Because
Right.
like for insurance purposes, they only let, kids of a certain age into the range. So I was really paying attention. So I'm pretty sure. So like for example, the spring turkey season, like I believe the weekend before, um that it's open to everyone, it's that weekend, it's kids only, like 12 to 14, 12 to 15, something like that. And then after that, I mean, they can hunt, you know with an adult, because usually the youth, if I'm pretty sure youth weekends everywhere, it's usually like a kid can hunt but with an adult, but only the kid can actually
Carry a
harvest.
weapon.
Yeah, can carry a weapon and harvest the animal.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the regular season, a kid can still hunt, but now, whoever, whatever adult they're with, can carry a weapon as well and harvest one as well.
Right. So here in South Dakota, we have a youth season, but it's called your mentor tag. So as long
Mm,
as the kid has a mentor tag, the mentor cannot carry a weapon at all. And
okay.
that season starts from September 1st all the way till January 1st. So they can
Really?
use anything. And it used to be you have to be 12, and
Hmm.
then they a couple years ago they changed the law where it's no minimum age now. As long as if the kid can hold a weapon, he can hunt.
I believe the minimum age is 12 now. Um, why do I believe used to be 14, and I think it just dropped down to 12 here in
Yeah.
New York State. I could be wrong, but I know for some reason the number 12 is sticking out of my head right now.
Oh yeah. See, I have a little girl, and I was like, hey, you want to go hunting with daddy? Nope. She's like, nope. And then my dad and brother came up a couple years ago for the first time. I think 3 years ago for the first time,
Hmm.
and she saw the pictures of that me and my dad, the deer that we killed together, and she was like, "Well, I would like to go. I would like to go. I want one with big antlers." Well, with yeah, but with the youth tag, they can only hunt doe. So she's like, "Well,
Oh,
I'll
okay.
hunt a doe first. I'll hunt a doe first." And I tried to get her up here because she lives in Arkansas with her mom. So I
Hmm.
tried to get her up here this year, but just she had so much going on, and it just didn't pan out. But I got her a bow, and she's been practicing. She has a long bow though. She didn't
Oh,
have a,
wow.
a compound yet, so she practiced with that every once in a while. But then I got her a little BB gun, so she practicing with a BB gun because I don't
Hmm.
think she's gonna pull a bow back just yet. So been practicing with a BB gun, and hopefully this year I'll be able to get her out. But I just kind of just slow, just let her come to me with it. She sees all my trophies on the wall, and she's like, "I want one of those." Like, yeah, we'll get you one.
That's cool though. That's cool.
Oh yeah, but she's a tech kid. She loves like coding and like I said, video games and stuff like that. So like whatever she wants to do, I'm not. If she don't ever wants to hunt, hey, that's fine. Hey,
Hmm.
I'll play Roblox with you. I'll play Minecraft. We'll learn how to code, program robots. We'll do all that. I just want to, like you said, just spend time with your kid.
Yeah, agreed, agreed. And it's funny because my daughter I can't get into it. I don't know why, but she's really big into anime and reading manga, and she reads regular books too. Like she's a huge, like a really big reader. You know what I'm saying? So like it's one of those, it's like I think about it, like I don't ever really have to punish her about nothing, but it's one of those where I could tell her shut off the TV, right? You know what I'm saying, to punish her, but she'll be just fine chilling in her room reading a book. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? And I could be like, oh, stop reading, and she'll be just fine going back to watching TV. So it's like she always stays occupied. The dope thing is she wants to be a screenwriter. She wants to get into movies.
Oh, nice.
So and she, is a dope student, so she does well. So it's like, what, I have 100% faith that whatever she puts her mind to, she's gonna succeed at. So I'm gonna
Right.
support her whatever she wants to do. So just waiting to see whether or not like she decides to venture out into the woods with me.
And you guys in New York, you guys got a lot of um like uh like art schools there and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So the high school she wants to go to, she's actually in the process of completing or submitting a whole audition packet and stuff like that. The high school she wants to go to has a film program, a film
Oh, nice.
production program. So she's got to put together a quick introductory audition video. She's got to actually write out like they gave her access to like 100 pictures, right? And she had to write like 500 words, no more than 500 words about like choose one of the pictures and write about that picture. It could have been something reporting, something fantasy like, but the end result has to be that the teacher looking at this audition packet should be able to know what picture she chose by whatever she wrote, the 500 words she wrote.
Oh, see
Yeah,
that
and
would kill me.
no, but she's such a dope writer, man. Like it's one of those where it's funny because in high school it's I hated doing it because it was always what the teacher wanted to do, but I've always believed I was a good writer. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then look what ended up happening. I ended up being able to write for Outdoor Life. And then my daughter was writing I don't know what they're called, but they're these little web novels. And she was writing them constantly and posting them on this website that this website offered her a contract last year. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying? To exclusively publish her stuff on this website or whatever. But between me, her mom, and her reading the contract, she was like, nah, I don't want to be exclusive to just, one person or one thing or
right.
anything like that. So it is what it is, man. It's funny, I'm looking at direction because she's like creeping back and forth between
Right.
the bedroom and the bathroom. And what do you call it? At the end of the day, say whatever they want to do, as parents, we just want to make sure they're safe, they're healthy, you know what I'm saying? And if they come to not necessarily love, but enjoy what we like, then cool. If not, oh well. But as long as you find something you're passionate for, then
Yep.
that's all that matters.
Exactly. So, how did you come to write for Outdoor Life? How did that come about?
Oof. It's one of those 6 degrees of separation type deals. Like they didn't even know if I could write. But all right, so okay, so I told you 2019 I found ATA on the Instagram page, and
Right.
that's how I even kind of sparked the idea of me wanting to hunt. Um 2020 rolled around, they still had ATA, but sorry, before that, I'm sorry. Dang. All right. I'm not sure about the time, but what happened was ATA hosted something called a virtual media summit, and
Yeah.
it
I
had
remember
it
when
had
they had that during like COVID, right?
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So they held a virtual media summit, and this was before they even did it because they ATA was virtual last year.
Right.
So literally, so they held it a second time during their virtual ATA last year. But I want to say maybe the fall, the summer before that, they held one. So they had a couple of people on their panel. They had Cuz Strickland from Mossy Oak, um Alex Robinson, and I don't I don't want to mess it up, but he's like the like head editor for Outdoor Life and stuff like that. Mark Kenyon from Wired to Hunt, like
Okay, I
his
know Mark
podcast.
Kenyon.
Yeah, so like it was a wide range of people. So I registered for it. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see what they were gonna talk about. You know what I'm saying? In terms of, I guess they were trying to talk about how I guess social media could be used for marketing and so on. And with me, when I realized my Instagram page was becoming more than just a personal Instagram page. It's turned into a brand. You know what I'm saying? So I had a logo created, and I've just been trying to, stick to that idea of treating it. Though it's really all about me. At the moment, I really want it to grow to be about, you know, more than just me. I want to be able to post more pictures than just myself shooting in the driveway or, on my hunt and whatnot. So yeah, so through that media summit, I had met Alex, the one of the editors of Outdoor Life, and I believe he was the one that reached out to me and asked me if I was interested in writing a piece. And and I did so, and I've been writing for them ever since. I think last year was the first time I put out a piece. I put out maybe like 5 or 6 pieces. And I try to tell people, like I'll tell your listeners even now, I ain't a killer. I'm no Cam Haines. I don't have any tips on how to kill big bucks. You have said any of the articles I write is from the perspective of a brother from a big city, you know, on this journey. You know what I'm saying? Like one of my articles had to do with a plan I had put into place of taking public transportation to the public land that I hunt. You know what I'm saying? What else? Another article was about, the a couple of the top things that I hear, in response to when I tell people I hunt. So like things other New Yorkers say to me when they find out that I'm a hunter. So it's all about they're more opinion pieces than anything else,
Right.
and it's all about just me, I guess, bringing a new perspective to the table. You know what I'm saying? Bringing something new to the table, new to the website. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just having fun with it. You'll find a lot of my pieces are more funny than anything else.
Yes, yeah, they are.
You
Because
know what
I
I'm
know
saying? So
the one that caught my eye was, I got it wrote down here, Rookie's Guide to Hunting Social Media. There's more beef in the online hunting community than there is between rappers. As soon as I read that, I'm like, what is this dude talking about? So I started reading it, and I was like, he's right.
yeah,
So then I immediately, like, my brother, he just started hunting like 2 years ago. So I was like, yo, you got to read this article. And I sent it to him. And probably like 15 minutes later, he called me and goes, bro, you got to get this dude on the podcast. Because, dude, I got to hear how, like, what made him write this piece. And I'm like, I've read it like 3 times.
oh man, I appreciate that. No, I have fun writing that because, yo, my dude, man. So since I've been on social media, there's no middle ground. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's either people really like me, you know what I'm saying, and they wanna, help, and answer questions and contribute to what I'm doing on the page, or people really want to try to call me out and call me a social media hunter or a wannabe influencer and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yo, if you really look at my Instagram page, I'm not trying to be the next Cam Haines. I'm not trying to be Ranella Goggins. I ain't no motivational dude. Nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I am literally, I got 3 deer seasons in, 2 spring turkey seasons. The only thing I've killed is 1 turkey the entire time out of all those seasons, and I love it. I
Yep.
love everything I'm learning. I love everything I'm doing. Listen, I have a blast just being on Onyx on my phone. Yo, I'll be waiting to leave the depot at my building. You know what I'm saying? To head to my route. I'm on my phone. I got a buddy at work that hunts, and he'd be like, he goes, "You got to get off of that and just get out in the woods." I'm like, if I could, I would, but I'm here. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But so yeah, so then I get people that feel like I don't put enough time out in the woods, that it's all for show, it's all this and that. Listen, if there's one thing you're gonna learn this with this podcast, man, you can't please everybody.
Nope. You
They
can't.
either gonna love you or they're gonna hate you. You know what I'm saying? So even when I posted about that article, right? Dude was like, "Oh, a social media article from a social media hunter." Man, I just let it rock. Cause also, I am big on letting you say what you want to say till you start getting disrespectful.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've had more people, and I realize they do it in the DMs. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want everybody to see the show. Like they don't want to put it out there so that way nobody else will know they're an asshole. I'm sorry, that
No,
they're
you
an a
good.
hole. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, so I'll get people talk to me who say, "Oh, you're playing the race card. You're only doing this to get free stuff." I don't get. Not, I'm wrong. I have gotten free stuff, and you know what I'm saying. And it's the amount of free gear I've gotten has been from people that have just been genuinely nice people, and people not necessarily looking to really make a buck off of me, or me to make me feel better, like, oh, look at me, I got free, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
never tell anybody like, oh, you should shoot so and so arrows. I use them. Cause why? Cause why are you gonna take that from me when I haven't killed anything like that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No. Um, I've had, on the flip side though, I've also had people that have come to me and like expressed interest in working with me, but from the jump, I can tell it's only because I'm black. You know what I'm
Okay. Yep.
saying? So they're pulling the race card. They're trying to use me for that. You know what I'm saying? And the minute I feel that, I'm like, nah, I'm good. But I like people, genuine people that are like, if they want me to bring awareness to their brand, possibly, that are just looking to just. I had one brand tell me like, yo, you know what? Use our stuff, don't use our stuff, whatever you like, try it out and whatnot. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna use our stuff, just show people, you just having fun. You don't
Right.
even have to tell them you're using our stuff. They can see it, in the pictures and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, and
That
that's
that's what it
basically it.
seems like. That's like I know because like even with me, when people reach out to me, sometimes you gotta have that side of like, are you really? Do you really want to know why I'm into hunting and what I'm doing, or do you just want me to be come out with you to be your token? And I'm
Yeah,
not. I'm not gonna be the token for you. You know what I'm saying?
you know what I'm saying?
Yep. And I actually
They,
had a guy reach out to me last year about antelope hunting. And it
mhm.
took me several times, and I've told the story on several podcasts. It took me several times to like even acknowledge him, 'cause, like, you don't know me. Why you want me to come hunt with you?
Yep,
And then once I end up meeting the guy, I mean, we're like best friends to this day. Like I just had
that's
coffee
what's
with
up.
him a couple weeks ago, and he's very genuine. And actually had a magazine hit me up because I killed a really nice antelope hunting with this guy. His name is Rob. I killed a nice antelope, and he let me know. He's like, hey, if you do this, if you do this interview, don't just have them put you on a cover because you're that guy,
Mm,
you know. And I was like, that's pretty. Like I never thought about that at the time. I was like, so I thought, well, maybe they're acknowledging me because they see, yeah, I'm out here harvesting stuff. But then he told me that I'm like, man, because it came out of nowhere,
mm.
and but I definitely know what you mean. And even with like with my Instagram page, I've had guys like, I don't like your name. What do you mean? Like you don't do I don't know you, bro. I don't know you. I don't care if you like my name or not. And to me, I think it's a pretty dope name. The Dreaded Archer. I got dreadlocks. I shoot
Dude,
archery.
I knew it from the jump, because the first time I came across your Instagram page, I was like, this dude better have dreads. You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Yep.
like, yep, yeah, yeah, there you go. And that's what it is. I think at the end of the day, if I think my whatever point I'm trying to get across, or whatever message I'm trying to put out there, the people I want to receive it are gonna get it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I'll ask questions. For example, like, I'll put out a question on Instagram, like asking people, yo, what's your setup like? Your bow setup like? And somebody DM, oh, you asked this question last year, and so I'm like, yeah, and you know what? I've probably got 100 to 200 more followers than I did last year, and those people would benefit from hearing about, what other setups people have. I don't want to know, like, I like my bow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Granted, there are other bows I would like to shoot or whatever, but I like my bow. I'm happy with it. But when I put out questions or anything like that, it's not to get engagement. I'm hoping, if you're a new bow hunter, for example, and I ask about, hey, do you shoot aluminum arrows or carbon arrows? If whichever one you choose, tell me why. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's gonna have a different answer,
Right.
and everybody I probably get a dozen different brands. So what's dope is, if you're somebody new who just started following me and now see this post, and you weren't sure, like, oh damn, I never thought about, shooting this type of arrow and what it can do and so on. You know what I'm saying? You've now got that information just because I asked that question. They're
Right.
gonna If I'm asking for myself, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna DM you and ask you, yo, how'd you do this? Or where'd you get this? Why do you do this? If I post it, I'm usually doing that so that way basically trying to create a forum, a little bit of a forum, if you will, and let everybody put their 2 cents in and share
Right.
why. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's like pulling teeth. Like I'll be like, oh, what carbon arrows do you shoot and why? And people will be like, I shoot um what are they, vapes, the Victory Archery.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
victory.
saying?
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right, why? Oh, because when I shoot, they do. You know what I'm saying? And I get them to expand on why. You know
Yeah.
why they. I try to make sure they're not just like loyal to their brand, but that they have something to contribute to the conversation. So that way, anyone brand new can look at the comment thread and be like, oh, all right, this is out there or this is out there, and so on, and just hope somebody comes away learning something.
Exactly. Because I know when it comes to archery, you can get really wrapped up into all the different like the influencers and the promoters, like the people out there promoting stuff like, "Hey, I shoot, Easton FMJs," and you like, and
Yeah,
you
yeah, that
think,
that's
and
my
you
that's
feel
my
like you got
arrow.
to go get them. You like
That's
the
my
Full Metal
arrow.
Jackets? See, like I've had people tell me like, shoot the FMJs, shoot the what you call it, the victories, the gold tips. Up, look, you got it right there.
I saw a week or so ago. I was fletching arrows for the first time,
See,
but
and it's stuff like that. Like I can easily go to like my archery shop. They're amazing people.
mhm,
Anything I need, they can do for me. But I've learned how to fletch my own arrows, how to cut my own arrows. Basically, I'm building my own arrows, and get them to fly the way I want them to fly.
see, that's what's
And
up.
and I want to learn all that. And I plan on doing this. I guess you can call it a vlog, I guess. And
Mhm,
I'm going to like, it's not, people think I've said it several times, but I'm not getting a bow donated to me. I am purchasing a bow and I'm going to build it from the ground up. And then I'm just going to give it to someone, or a person that's getting into archery.
that's what's up.
Like just give it to them. Hey, because no one gave me a bow, but if I can do it for somebody here's a bow, go out, shoot it, have fun. Go to your local arrow shop, have them size you up and everything. Get your draw length. Here you go. Go have fun. And it won't be anything expensive. It'll be
Mhm.
something, a starter. Something just
Yeah.
to get you introduced to archery.
Which what's funny is I was all right. So there's that most recent article, right? And where I put in buyer, kind of beware,
Your
know,
buyers beware.
beware. That was me, my dude. Like so when I first started, getting into hunting, I was listening to a lot of podcasts. And so one of my favorite podcasts, like these dudes are all like they're posting pictures on social media, killing deer left and right, dropping them left and right. I'm like, all right, I need that bow. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? And I got it. And so because of them, I shoot that bow. Then I was like, I need that sight. Because of them, I got that same sight. You know what I'm saying? And let me put it this way, while I enjoy my bow, I like my look bow a lot. It's a huge step up from that, package bow I got from the big box store and whatnot. I still, to be honest, that package bow I got, I shot well with that too. You know what I'm saying? So there's no huge difference. But granted, with the newer bow, I killed my first turkey. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So it's like I got that under my belt. I can't say it's because of that bow, but like I said in the article, definitely my confidence is up there because I feel like I've got a more quality product in hand. But that's the thing. Like I try to tell people, like um, do your research. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying, and figure out what you need. Like I went from shooting a multi-pin sight to a single pin sight, right? So the multi-pin sight had horizontal pins, right? And I was like, nah. And then I thought to myself, I was like, dang, I was like, it's taking away a lot of the sight picture. And so
Yeah.
I switched to a single pin, right? And I really liked it because I had now a lot more sight picture. I shot really well with it, but I hated if I'm like in my stand in my climber, I'm like I gotta turn the dial to
Yeah.
get to the yardage I want. So then I found a multi-pin sight where all the pins are vertical.
Line up.
You know what I'm saying? So now I get the what do you call it, the sight picture from a single pin, but I got all the perks of the multi-pin sight.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but you can't know that unless, you know what I'm saying? So that's 3 sites I've gone through. You know what
and
I'm
they ain't
saying?
cheap.
It's
Not cheap
not
at
at all.
all.
You know, the last site, that vertical multi-pin site, the only reason I got it was because of Prime Day on Amazon when everything is cheaper.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
so that site dropped from like $100 to like 60, and I was like, all right, I'm with it.
Yep. I can get with that.
Yep, you know what I'm saying. So, but I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's. I just tell people have fun with it. At the end of the day, whatever it is you're shooting, have fun with it. If you're, I don't care if you're holding the bow like this. If you're hitting, center mass each and every time, you know what I'm
do
saying? You're
do
hitting
do it work
tens
for
on the
you.
yeah, you're hitting tens on the target. It works for you. Keep doing it. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
And if it wasn't for the archery shop that I go to, I'd be broke right now. I'm gonna tell you because I'll go in and the owner he works there. That's what he do. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll go in there and I'm like, hey man, I was on YouTube and I saw this site and do you got it or can you get it for me? Why you need that site? And I'm like, well, because and I'll list why I need it. Man, it's like that CBE you got. That site is just it's just good. You don't need to know the site.
See,
And
that's what's up. That's
and
what's up.
he'll be like, nah, he's a come here, shoot your bow a couple of times and I'll shoot it right on the X. See, ain't nothing wrong with this site. And I'd be like, I know, I guess I don't need it. Or
There
I'll
you
come in,
go.
I'll say, hey, I saw these guys, they're putting, they're doing the front of center arrows and getting heavier load up front and kind of a lighter arrow. If your bow is set up right, you won't need none of that stuff. It'll shoot just
Mm-hmm.
right. And he saves me a lot of money because he gives me he'll tell me you don't need it, but then he'll tell me why I don't need it. Like, look, I set your bow up, I know how it's set up, everything is centered and everything. You don't need that. Your arrows are all good. He goes, the more you watch stuff on YouTube and you read these magazine articles, that stuff is meant to get you to go out and buy this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to buy it, you a grown man, I'll sell it to you. But I'm here to tell you, you don't need it
Mm-hmm.
because it's not going to help you kill a deer any faster.
Yep.
And,
See.
and he keeps it real with me. Now I know if I go to some other big box stores, I say, hey, I need this. All right, here you go.
Yep.
No, $300. But no, he's like, nah, you don't need this. And even when it comes to like buying a new bow, he'll be like, you don't need this new bow. Like now, I when I went from my first bow was a Mission Hammer,
Mm-hmm.
and I shot that for like 2 years, and I never harvested anything with it. Actually, I got 11th place in the tournament with it, which I felt
Oh,
pretty
nice.
good out of 60 people. So I was like, hey, and people were even talking trash to me at the shoot, like, you shooting a Mission? Yeah, I'm shooting a Mission. It shoot just like yours do, you know what I'm saying? But when I ended up getting the Matthews V3, and it's because it was like a gift to myself. I tried to justify it anyway. And he was like, I went in there 3 or 4 times, and he basically like, you don't need this bow. Like, if you really want it, I'm like, I really want it. Like, I want a new bow. And he set it up for me and everything. But he knows I'm new to archery and it can get really expensive. So he tried to talk me off the ladder or off the ledge
Mm-hmm.
before I jump head in and to start buying stuff. So
See.
I appreciate that.
And see, but you know what's funny is I equate all these new bowls. Like I'm a big Jordan fan in terms of sneakers. Oh,
Yep.
of course I love Michael Jordan as a ball player too. But I collect sneakers. So to me, it's like every time these new bowls come out, I compare it to like these new J's that come out
Yeah.
every other Saturday. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing happens. It's like there's I don't think there's that much especially in the 3-4 years I've been shooting or hunting, that there's been that much change in technology.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's to me, it's just like these black and red ones maybe I got last month. Now this month they're red and black. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
all. That's all it is. They didn't come up with nothing new. But yeah, man. And shout out to the bow shop I go now, Pro Line Archery. They're the same way. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell them, listen, I'm for example, like my arrows, I don't have to build them myself right now, but it's something I'd like to learn to do for
Right.
myself, and um like they built my arrows for me. I had bought some Eastern Axis arrows last year. They built them for me. I told them what I wanted the total grain weight to be, and they got it to just that. But it's like I want to learn. So like for me, I think the total grain weight I had last year with my axes were 450 grains, and so I'm bumping it up to like 500 just to play around,
Yep.
and see what I like, see what I don't like, and I'm going back to FMJs and whatnot, just having fun with it.
Yep. I know the guy at market shop, he gets annoyed a little bit of me because like he's working on my bow and I'm just like I'm looking I'm like, hey, you mind if I come back there and look and like come on back here and I'll sit and he don't talk much. When he working, he don't talk. And I'm
Uh,
asking questions, I can tell like he's focused. And then once he get done, then he'll like this is what I did and he walked me through it. And I'm like,
that's
all
what's
right,
up.
cool. Cause like I go back country hunting for elk. If my bow messes up, I don't have time to leave the field, go and try to
Mm,
fix my bow. I got to fix it right there on the spot. So he's taught me a few things that like, hey, if you're out here and this happens, if anything happens other than like I snap some cables or something, he's taught me how to fix it. If he said you snap a cable, you gotta go to a bow shop.
yeah, there you go. But
Yeah.
you have one of those portable presses.
Hmm. No, I don't have now. If I need a press, I'm screwed. I'll
Okay,
have to
okay.
go to a bow shop. But like the new Matthews V3, it has these little hooks that you can actually you don't need a press to it's got these
Really?
hooks on the cams that you hook up and it basically works like a infield press. Like you don't need one.
Oh wow. All right.
But I don't have that one. I didn't want to get the V3X. I was like, I just bought the V3 last year.
Mm,
I don't need the new model because like it's almost like a car when it comes to like bows.
mm,
If you bought a 2020, if you bought a 2021 GMC, the 2022 pretty much gonna have the same thing. They may add two or three new things. And
yep.
with archery, I've had a show about this, we in the archery world industry, they've made leaps and bounds when it came to bows to the point where the innovation is just it's micro, it's very small,
Mm,
and it's like what's going to be the next the big innovative thing in archery. But with bows, I mean, there's not much difference. I mean, it's just brand and preference at this point.
mm-hmm.
They all shoot good. Like I've shot a lot of bows just testing them out, and I have nothing to say bad about any bow. They all, they're all good. And when I
Mm,
watch these YouTube videos, I feel like the guys that are doing the reviews, they're trying to find something wrong with these bows, and be honest and say like, nah, man, they are all good. Just pick your price point and what color you want and go with it.
mm-hmm.
That's,
Yep.
that's how it is.
No, I agree. I agree.
So in one of your articles, you talk about the gatekeepers of the archery community. Who are the gatekeepers? What you say?
All right. So gatekeepers for me are, I guess, for lack of a better term, the old heads, the traditionalists
Okay,
that are like, I'm really big on. All right. So I believe that hunting deer here in New York, even an hour outside of the city from me, right? Is gonna be way different than hunting a deer 3-4 hours away from me upstate. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna get people that are like, oh, you need to do this. This they act like deer hunting's the same all across the board. It
right.
needs to be done A, B, C, D. And if you don't do it, you know what I'm saying? Then you're not a real hunter. You know what I'm saying? Or um so like for me, I'm juggling hunting and my family dynamic. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Keeping that in balance and making sure my family's still happy, even though I'm out going to do this. But you get dudes that are like, oh well, you're not out in the woods enough, so you're not a hunter. You get people that are like that have passed judgment on me that because now 3 seasons in, I haven't shot a deer yet. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, but yo, this ain't your hunt. This is my hunt. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And like to go from 2019, I hunted 3 days, right? And really didn't see any deer, right? To 2020, I scouted a lot in 2020 and I was gonna live or die by the spot that I chose. Like
Yeah.
I would not venture out from that. And I saw no deer. I happened to hunt out of state in Virginia um, in October of 2020, and that was the first time all season I really saw a deer. And then probably the last week of December of 2020, I participated in deer drive and saw a deer. You know what I'm saying? And but still didn't kill anything. To go then to 2021 where I scouted, I scouted hard and really did my best to understand the lay of the land before I got there. Then when I had boots on the ground, um, you know, really got familiar with the public land in person, being physically there.
Right.
And then the spot I chose, every day I hunted, I saw deer. Every day. The only one day I didn't see deer was a day there was a bear in the area, and I saw the bear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the only day I didn't see deer. Every other time, saw a deer. Saw my first buck. You know what I'm saying? 4-pointer. Somebody else killed him that day, but because I didn't have a shot. Dude came right like beeline for me and walked right under my
Oh.
climber. So I had no ethical shot. You know what I'm saying? Um, so like yeah, so to go from having hunted 3 days my first season, seeing no deer my second season, to seeing deer every day I hunted, the spot that I scouted, every day that I sat out there, I had that's a success for me.
Yep.
Kill or no kill, you know. But I got people out there that would rather say that I'm like all show, or like I'm not really about it because I'm not out there. Like, granted, yeah, I'm not gonna lie to any of your listeners. I'll say, yo, the more time you can spend out in the woods, the better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There probably is a chance, you're gonna get whatever you're hunting, whether it's elk, deer, turkey. The more time you physically spend out of the woods would probably increase your chances of getting that animal. But there are people who will spend a week out in the backcountry and come home empty-handed.
I
you,
did it last year in Colorado.
you know what I'm saying? And it's like, and so now you're gonna feel like crap. Now that you're coming home, you're gonna feel like you're not a hunter.
Oh
You know what I'm
no, not
saying?
at all. I
You know what I'm
got the
saying?
experience.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, did you e-scout and learn about the property, that you did? Did you get boots on the ground and scout in advance? You're saying maybe if you have access, put out trail cameras and try to pattern a deer if you could. And did you actually get out there, and even if you didn't see deer, just you're still psyched because every sound you hear, you're up there in that tree, you're like,
Yep.
saying, breaking your neck, you know what I'm saying? And so it's one of those that I call them gatekeepers, and because it's like they feel like hunting needs to be done a certain way. And I don't believe that. I believe it's different for everyone. It's all dependent on whether or not it's something they were born into, it's something that is a necessity for them, it's something, or it's something like be somebody like me, middle-aged person just getting into it. You know what I'm saying? And um then you have people like, oh man, who bugged me the most recently? What's his name? Steve Ranella's brother, Matt Ranella.
Oh, see,
I don't
I
know.
didn't know he had a brother.
Yeah, oh dude, man. So this dude wrote an article. Are you familiar with what R3 is? The whole recruit dang. It's a huge initiative within the hunting industry to basically recruit people to into hunting, to kind of, or reactivate, I believe. Like, so people who stop hunting, try to get them back into it.
Okay.
And what's the huh? Can't believe I don't remember the 3 R's, but it's this huge initiative to try to boost, hunting numbers, And so this dude, Stephen L's brother Matt, wrote an article last year against it, against hunter recruitment.
Oh.
And I'll send you the link to that article. He wrote it last year, and the crazy thing was, um, because Renella's a huge, Steve Renella's a huge proponent of, getting new people out there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? His brother's against it. So apparently, I guess, even as a family, they've been butting heads about
Button
that.
heads.
Yeah. So, but Meat Eater published that article. So they published Matt's article about basically making his case against hunter recruitment. And I didn't like it personally. You know what I'm saying? I'll definitely recommend people to read it and see, what their take of it is. But then again, just last year, towards the end of the year, Matt Ranello was on a podcast, Blood Origins, talking mad junk, and then they published an article for him again, and this time he was trashing anyone on social media, any that posts anything hunting related. So at first, like, I could understand if you want to get at influencers a little bit, if you think, because to me you can't totally blame the influencers sometimes, just like in any field, right? There's those that kind of meant, like, depending on how the company is, you know what I'm saying? I feel like social media for any company can be used as a marketing tool. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So if your podcast blows up, and I'm a new dude in the hunting industry and I'm all about getting my broadheads out there, I mean, like, yo, let me speak to, the dreaded archer and see if he'd like to, promote my product and so on. But then as a company, it'll be my job to kind of vet you, to know what you're about, to
Right.
know whether your ideas on hunting, your morals, your values are in line with my company's.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
you want to
saying?
know who you being involved with.
Facts. But this dude, one, Matt Ranella, is one, he doesn't believe in hunter recruitment. He doesn't believe hunting numbers should be increased because he feels like they're fine where they're at, right? And then two, he believes if you post anything about your kill, about whatever you've hunted, anything like that on social media, that you're not a hunter, that you're only doing it for the likes. That's everyone. It don't matter, from somebody as big as Cam Haynes to somebody as low as me on the totem pole.
I mean,
That
his brother posts stuff about hunting. So is his brother not a hunter?
you see what I'm saying?
His
Like, his
brother got a
brother's
whole TV show.
a whole empire. You know what I'm saying? A whole empire based off of this. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So it pissed me off, my dude. Like, I even made a hoodie. I'm gonna show you offline.
All right.
A hoodie. I'm gonna start rocking in some of my videos because it had gotten me tight. But it's one of those, when you're putting out a vibe like that, you know what I'm saying? It makes it that much harder for that person who's thought about it. Like, damn, like, I really want to get into this. Like, this kind of intrigues me. I'd like to learn about this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And be like, nah, is this what the hunting community is like? Then I don't really want,
To
to
be
be
a
a
part
part
of
of
it.
it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
And it's like, it's like with everything, there's good apples and bad apples. But
agreed.
I've experienced stuff like what you're talking about, where like I like Vortex.
Hmm.
Like I have a couple rifles and I have Vortex scopes on it. I'm not sponsored by Vortex. I just like good clothes. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in Vegas, walking around, got a Vortex shirt on, and this guy don't know me from Adam.
Hmm.
What you know about Vortex? And I look at him like, what? Like, why you got a Vortex shirt on? Because like I like it. Like I don't. Like, I know I had money. I saw it. I liked it. I bought it. But he started like G checking me on Vortex and why it's a shitty brand, and how
Oh,
all their scopes are nothing like what was it loophole.
loophole.
That's what he like. That's what he uses. That's his optics. And I'm like, dude, that's cool. I like Vortex.
Hmm.
I don't know why do I like Vortex, because the first rifle I bought came with a Vortex scope.
Hmm.
I just liked it. They don't pay me to say nothing. I just like their stuff.
Nah,
But
see,
you're not. But what you're not going to do is, I'm a grown man. You're not going to check me on what I got and tell me, real hunters don't use Vortex. I know a lot of guys that use it, and I don't care if a
yep.
real hunter or not. Hell, I've hunted with a Weber. No, is it Webster? No, Weaver.
Hmm.
Weaver, those old Weaver scopes, like $25. I killed you with that. It
Hmm.
don't matter what brand it is, or nothing. But like, you're not gonna G check me on on
Yeah.
what brand on what
See,
brand I'm wearing.
what's funny is I've got Vortex binos and a Vortex rangefinder, and mainly because they were on sale. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? And I knew they were still quality product. You know what I'm saying? But the biggest draw for me for about Vortex, I had heard so much about their customer service.
Customer service and that lifetime warranty.
Yes. So check this. So that year 2020, I killed my first turkey. Um, Opening weekend of spring turkey season. May 1st was a Friday, May 2nd, Saturday. That Monday, I noticed the eye cup on my binos. The eye cup came right off, screwed right off. I was like, this ain't supposed to happen. I can't get it back on. I sent an email to Vortex. Yo, they emailed me a next day air label from UPS, which I liked already because it was a UPS label.
Shout out.
And then I put my binos in a box, shipped it to them overnight, and I had told them like, listen, I was like, I need them because my first turkey hunt is this Saturday. Tell me why I shipped it to them Tuesday. They got it Wednesday, and Thursday they sent me a brand new box, brand
can't,
new pair of binos.
can't beat it, man.
Like, you talking to a dude like, try to do something like that in any store out here in New York City. They look at you like you stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was just that type of customer service. First of all, I'm not used to.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So to me, your product does what it's supposed to do for me, for what I need. So I
Hmm.
got no complaints. For as far as I need to see with my binos, they do the job. For as far as correctly ranging, the distances I need range, my rangefinder works. So now you add to that the fact that you took care of me with no hassle, no problems whatsoever, and I was able to hunt with my binos and kill a turkey on opening weekend. It can't get no better. You know what I'm
Can't
saying?
beat it.
But like you said, people are gonna like they people are gonna check you to see what you know
Yep. To see
about
what
the
I
brand
know. Yeah.
and
Are
whatnot.
you are you a poser? Do you even own any
Yeah,
Vortex or
you say
any whatever brand you wearing? Do you even own any of their stuff?
exactly,
I actually do.
exactly. And what's funny is, all right, so there's this I don't know how new they are, but at least in social media they've grown over the last couple of months or last year. Montana Knife Company, and
I've seen their stuff.
yeah, so I was in a Nike store here in the city on a release one Saturday morning to pick up some sneakers, and it's a huge it's right in the middle of Manhattan, so it's a real big tourist store. And some dude, tall dude, what do you call it, was wearing a uh Montana Knife Company hoodie, and he was trying to get the shoes that were being released and stuff like that. And I'm just watching him pace. So I'm waiting on the line watching him pace. And he's bugging out. He's like, well, and he's talking to the salesperson. How do I do this? How do I do that? Da-da-da. And so I'm like, yo, Montana. Like after he talked, Montana. And he's looking at me. I was like, Montana Knife Company, right? He's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. He's like, how you know about them? I bow hunt. I was like, and I see them on social media a lot. He's like, oh, what's up? I was like, what are you looking for? You know what I'm saying? And so this ended up not being anything hunting related. I was able to put him on to what shoe was being released, how to get whatever sizes he was looking for. And I don't know if he ended up getting it, but it was all because of this hunting brand. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Now it's weird because sometimes you make a connection like that. Like I'm delivering on my route, I'll see guys in some Realtree Edge hoodies, and I'll be like, "You hunt?" Well, I'll see dudes with a sticker. I've met in the last year. I've met about 4 different guys on my route that bow hunt, all because on their cars, I either saw a First Light sticker, I saw like a deer outline sticker, and I'll be like, "Hey,
Browning.
something like that."
Yeah.
But either way, it was something hunting related. Like one guy, I started picking his brain because he had Realtree Outdoor car seats, not car seat covers,
Yeah.
right? And I happened to be delivering to him. I was like, you hunt? He's like, yeah. How you know? I was like, it's like your Realtree Outdoor car seat covers. And he started laughing, and he was like, yeah, yeah. And And so I was delivering something. He goes, I bow hunt. He goes, that's my new bow case right there. I was literally delivering his bow case
Right.
to him. You know what I'm saying? And then earlier in the deer season last year, I was delivering new tree stands to a guy, two huge boxes with tree stands in them. So it's like it's pretty cool. It's funny. It's like I guess I've had positive experiences, you know what I'm saying, with people because I'm delivering this stuff. But I wouldn't put it past people to, like, when I've asked questions and they're kind of like, well, what do you know about this brand? I'll be like, oh, I don't just like, one guy delivered a box from First Light, and I was like, oh, you bow hunt? He was like, yeah, because when I got that specific, he's like, yeah, but you know about bow hunt? I was like, I bow hunt too. But I only asked because I see you getting stuff from First Light, and then we started chopping it up and whatnot
Yeah.
and talking. But man, it's like I said, it depends. Not everybody. Like I'll tell your followers, your listeners now. Not everybody's like that. You know what I'm saying?
No.
There's a lot of good people within the hunting community that are willing to answer questions and put you on this stuff and keep it 100 with you and tell you, yo, it's all about preference.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But then you're gonna get those people like you said that'll trash Vortex just because they're low. Or yo, look how Hoyt bow hunters are, or Hoyt
Oh
lovers
my
are with Matthews.
goodness,
You know what I'm saying?
man.
How
Oh
they
my
go back and
goodness.
forth. And you
Yes.
swear, and that's what I'm talking. And that's what I'm talking about when I said in the article, like sometimes there's more beef than the rap game.
Yeah.
Like, and it's sad to say, but even I'm getting that way. There's people, that I had positive relationships when I first started on my journey, but then years later I've had to cut them off. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not getting what it is I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? And now they're just bringing a whole lot of negativity to it that I just don't want. You know what I'm saying? And then just gotta cut them loose.
Yeah. And the negative stuff just, to me, it's uncalled for, because, like, dude, if you don't like what you see, just go about your business. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
it.
what I don't like is, like, and you said earlier, oh, you're pulling a race card. No, I'm not pulling a race card. I'm actually, my mission. If you want to really know, ask me. I
Mm-hmm.
want to get more people like me involved in hunting. I think it would, open their eyes up to a whole different world.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I've even thought, like, and I go back and forth on it all the time. Like, man, I think it'd be cool to have, like, almost like a a black hunting convention, and
Yeah. You
find,
know what I'm
because
saying?
I know guys that I grew up with that hunt that I never knew hunt. They won't, because they don't talk about it. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't want like a lane. Man, you ain't no lane. I hunt. Oh, you when you
Mm-hmm.
start hunting, I just started, but hey, they ain't lame. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? And maybe get a huge group of, people, get them in a convention, and just sit and talk about, hunt strategies, talk about food plots, and what tree stand you use. Oh, I don't use a tree stand, I use a tree saddle, and just share, like I
See?
said, sharing hunting stories and hunting experiences, and like I said, opening people's eyes to the world of hunting.
Yep. I totally agree. I totally agree. And it's like, I guess it's bugged me. Like one of the things I look at a lot of times is I'll look at certain brands on social media, and I look at their models.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll pass judgment on brands like, yo, how many brothers and sisters do you have representing your brand whenever you post? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I'm not necessarily trying to be gung ho about it. It's like, but my whole thing is, from what I understand when I got into this, is like, years back there was a huge push in the hunting industry to really market towards women and children.
Right.
They felt like that was the next market. Build women up, build kids up. Um, and I think it's the same. I'm not saying market towards people of color, but definitely, yo, it's one of those things where I've heard it said before, you can't become what you don't see. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? So yeah, so it's a little bit about representation. It's about people like you said, you came across Trent Cole. You know what I'm saying? He has a show, Blitz TV at
Yep.
Blitz TV. You know
Blitz
what I'm saying?
TV.
So that's dope content. You know this that dude, there's a lot of brothers, especially athletes who hunt. You know Corey Anderson, the MMA fighter.
No.
Well, he's a bow hunter. You know, yo, Scottie Pippen's a hunter. I
Yep.
don't know if you know
Bo
that.
Jackson.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I
Yep.
heard you talk. I heard you talk
Yep.
about. But you get dude. I got like I don't speak to him that often, but every once in a while, I do hit Trent up with questions and stuff like that because he's out here in Jersey. I don't know if
Okay.
you know. Once he retired from football, he's a farmer. Yeah,
Yeah, I watched his show and I'm like he's the real deal. Like
yeah. You know say, and it's right.
he
It's
got the John Deere tractor and everything.
yeah. He's right here in New Jersey doing all that. You know what I'm saying? Um, and you never think it, but it's like you said. There's so many. Like I said, I see so many brothers from the South and out west that hunt, and it's hard for me. It's difficult for me to relate because a lot of that is steeped in tradition. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Their families did and so on, but it's not the same for brothers out here. A lot of the brothers out here are getting into it later on in life. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of brothers that are getting into it from, that are in cities, in big cities, are getting into it later on in life. And so I just think, like you said, I putting together this sort of group, maybe, you know what I'm saying? This sort of convention, or even if we kick it off virtually at first, to kind
Yeah.
of like test the waters and be like, yo, like this is what it is and so on. And build a sort of support group, if you
Right.
will, that way. Because I'll tell you right now, when I first started out, like I said, I was looking for brothers, and like you did, I looked up black bow hunter. You know what I'm saying? Nothing, because not even Trent Cole at the time had popped up. I can't even tell you how I came across Trent Cole. Oh, Trent Cole was actually a guest on another podcast. That's how I came across him, and I started following him on social media, and he's just been really cool. And I'm just trying to reach out to other people like that, but really trying to either take under my wing or at least get really familiar with other folks who hunt from urban areas, especially
Yeah.
getting into it later on in life.
Like now, when I first saw your page, I thought when I saw like Urban Archery NYC, I thought NYC was like your initials or something. I'm like, I was like, ain't no, like, I was like, I was ignorant, like nobody hunts in New York. And then I started seeing your pictures, and I know you in the driveway shooting your bow, and I'm looking at them houses. I'm like, man, them houses close together, man. He might be in New York.
Yeah,
And
man.
then as I follow you, I'm like, oh no, he is from New York, like for real, And I'm like, and then I question like I didn't even like I've only been to New York once, and I've been to Jersey once,
Mm.
and I was like, where do they hunt at? And I was gonna ask you like, what's the public land like? But you came right in, was like, hey, this public land like right outside the city.
Yeah,
And it's like I didn't know, and I
yeah,
was like, man, like, got if we can get people every like let's say people from our community more involved in hunting and works like a network is what I kind of want. So like, guys like you're in New York and you like, man, I really want, I want to hunt outside New York. Well, you can hop in that network, that group, and
hmm
we got guys in South Dakota, we got guys in Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, South Carolina, North Carolina, and we're all in this group together and we'd reach out and like, hey man, like come on down. Like I'll take care of you. You know what I'm saying? Like
hmm
just like a network. And also like I want to get people introduced, more people introduced to hunting from urban areas. I'm not from an urban area. I'm from Texarkana, Texas. It's country.
mm.
But I know that a lot of I got family in urban areas and they know nothing about hunting. And I think it'd be cool to introduce it to them because like I said, it'll open up their eyes to something new. And like I said, they might end up taking a liking to it. But you can't like you said, you can't become what you don't see.
Agreed, agreed. And then even if you see it, sometimes you can't relate to it. So
Right.
like I said, it's I came across brothers, but they're from the South. You know what I'm saying? It's it's nothing I can't relate to dudes, in a boat, walking through a swamp. duck hunting, whatever, or hunting with dogs or anything like that. I'm not familiar with that whatsoever.
Right.
Which, well, you know who you need to get on your podcast is this dude. He and I have gotten pretty cool. His name is Louis Lau, Dominican kid from the Bronx.
Okay.
Heavy into waterfowl hunting. Like you never think it.
And do
Yo,
you got that in New York?
yeah, yo, he's
Man, I
big
did not
into duck
know that.
hunting, from literally from the Bronx. And this dude is big, and like he's really about taking out people for their first time duck hunting, duck hunts. He hunts geese, I believe pheasant. Like he's big into it, and it was because he had an uncle that also lived in the Bronx, like that used to keep to himself, and nobody in the hood knew that he hunted. This dude would just, and he rifle hunted. He didn't bow hunt. So he'd come down from his crib with like, his rifles wrapped up in something, put them in his trunk, go up north, hunt, come back home with his deer, quartered, whatever, in the cooler and stuff like that, and go right back up to the crib. And then he's
Get to
got deer.
working on it.
Yeah, he's got deer hanging on his wall, mounted on his wall. You know what I'm saying? And you wouldn't know it unless you knew him and was invited into his crib.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So this kid, like I think you would definitely like him. I'll definitely connect y'all too. But big time, big, like he really heavy into duck hunting, to waterfowl hunting.
Man,
Loves
that
it. Like that's his thing, and he's really big on taking people out. A lot of first timers and exposing them to it. And from the Bronx, he's less than an hour from my crib. You know what I'm saying? So it's we out here in the city. You know
right.
what I'm saying? I can only imagine what it would be like, if somebody's from like Detroit, somebody from the Chi, you know what I'm saying, or folks out in LA. I granted, I think each city and state has different different challenges.
Right.
You know, um, like I was blessed enough. The NWTF came out last year and took pictures and went on a turkey hunt with me last year. Because I had heard about how, my plan, take the train to public land and stuff, like took pictures. So hoping this year, I'm hoping to actually link up with some new turkey hunters out here. And we all gonna one morning just, butt crack of dawn, get on the train and show people like, this is how you can get some public land out here, having to take public transportation, and hopefully bag a turkey and come back home. Like there's a dude, as a matter of fact, it's crazy. He lives in the low. I know it may be Greek to you, but this guy lives in the Lower East Side of Manhattan, right?
Okay.
Told me a story about like he got into hunting and he hopped on the train, camo and all everything on, went a couple hours north, shot himself a buck. Um, I guess cut it up, quartered however he need to, got it all in his pack or whatever, or cooler, hopped back on the train with everything and went back down home. You know what I'm
I
saying?
was just going to ask you about that.
Yeah, and he was like the looks he got. Like he luckily he didn't run into any like um animal rights activists or anything like that.
Right.
Anybody that was going to like get in his face. So well the thing is it's New York. You get into the wrong person's face, you just might lose some teeth.
Right.
And but he was like, because he had antlers sticking out of his pack and stuff like that, and he's carrying all this stuff, and went right home with it.
Like
So
so so you take public transportation to go to the public land.
not always, but what this was a plan in 2020 around Halloween. Because at the time my family and I only owned one car, and I don't like leaving my wife and kids without some mode of
Right.
transportation. So I figured out now and I told people this only works if you got somebody to pick you up at the other side, at the other end of, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because it's not like this entrance to public land is right there. So it's like for me, for example, I'd have to take a bus to the city train, and from the city train is something called Metro North, which takes you, an hour outside of the city up north. And from that station, it's like I think 5 or 7 miles to the nearest public land to hunt. Picture me walking with my bow in this case or whatever in the middle of the night, what I'm saying, trying to hike, 5, 6 miles at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to public land, and then hike a mile into the spot. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm,
that's not happening. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, around this public land is all suburbs. So I'm not walking the side of the road in the middle of the suburbs at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
right.
So luckily, my mentor is able to, swing through, pick me up. So that's how that works.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But it's possible, because if my mentor isn't gonna come, he lives out there. He's not gonna drive an hour down, come scoop me up to drive back another hour and then do it again,
Right.
to drop me off. So it only makes sense. I'll just get the train schedule, boom, get up there, scoop me up, and it's like 5 minute ride from the station to public land entrance. You know what I'm saying?
And because I was like, so if he taking the public transportation, if he kills something, how he getting it back?
Like when I kill my turkey, man. Like, all right, so the plan is for the spring turkey season. If I have to do that, man, all I gotta do is the greatest thing about turkey hunting is you don't gotta worry about scent control. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I could get on the train and smell to high heaven with all my camo on, just have my bow in like a soft case and a cooler, and that's it. And then have somebody scoop me up when I get to the station, where I want to hunt, kill something, butcher it right there, or throw it in the cooler, drop me off at the train station, take the train home.
So do you guys have is there a lot of public land available in your area,
Yeah,
or is it
man.
just that one spot?
No, there's a lot of land available. Granted, you have to, like, all right, so I live in Queens. East of Queens is Long Island. You have
Okay.
Nassau County, there's no hunting there, but Suffolk County there is. That's about an hour east of me. I have yet to scout land out there, like physically scout land out there. But there's plenty of it. And then an hour north, and the reason why I'm mentioning these two is because these two areas are bow hunting only.
Okay.
So out east of me, bow hunting only, and just an hour north of me, bow hunting only. And but then the further north you go, you have all the Catskill Mountains, the Adirondacks. Like New York is rich with public land, and that's the thing that's dope is like there a lot of people don't know this. Like, dude, when I first started this and I took my hunter safety class, I took my hunter safety class in the area that I wanted to hunt. And I remember asking my instructors like, yo, I heard there was public land around here to hunt. Where is that? And they were like, oh no, there's no public land out here to hunt. Man, for what was that? So I thought there was no public land over there for me to hunt. Like you had to
Yeah.
have access to private. So almost a year passes, right? And on my Instagram page, I happened to post something one day, and a dude from Connecticut reposted it, right? So now a guy who lives in the area that I want to hunt, he sees the repost from the guy in Connecticut, and was like, Urban Archery NYC, who's this? He's like, let me click on this. He clicks on my page and he reaches out to me. He's like, yo, he goes, where are you hunting this year? I was like, oh, I don't know. I'm trying to find public land. He's like, why are you trying to go that far? Because I was thinking about going 2, 3 hours. He goes, there's public land right here, not even an hour away from you. And I was like, nah, dude took me under his wing, has been my mentor ever since. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what's up,
So
man.
yeah, and it's like close to 600 acres. It's a preserve. You know what
Oh,
I'm
dang!
saying?
You got a lot of land to hunt.
Exactly, and they're big on they have a deer management program because there's so many does in the area. So they want you, you can drop doe after doe after doe, and it's the same way out east too, because they have the same thing. Like while you can kill bucks out there, you fill all your tags, right? Um, I mean you punch all your tags, they'll give you another doe tag, drop another doe, they'll give you another doe tag. So it's like there's no shortage of tags, no shortage of does. You know what I'm saying? It's there if you want it. You know what I'm saying? If you know about it, and that's the thing is like a lot of people don't know that this exists.
So when it comes to getting your tags, is it like a draw, or do you just like go to the like local Walmart and go in and buy your tags?
So all right, real quick thing. There's no Walmart in the five boroughs of New York City
Oh, okay.
at all. Exactly. You've got to go outside of the five. So the five boroughs of New York City, the Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, Queens, and Brooklyn, right?
Okay.
There's in none of the five boroughs. There's no Walmart. So, but the minute you step foot like outside the Bronx, um, there you can find a Walmart. The minute you head east of Queens, you can find a Walmart. But in the five boroughs of New York City, no
No
Walmart.
Walmart. So is it with like for as far as like grocery stores, it's like with family owned shops and
No, no, no. There's big stores. Just Walmart isn't
just
one.
no Walmart. Okay, I got
Yeah.
you. I got you.
Um. So what was I saying? I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Like where you get your tags.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah. So you've got to get just like a lot of states, you got to get your hunter safety, bow hunter safety done, and then you can go to like Dick's Sporting Goods, Field and Stream, get your tags there. A lot of the local archery shops sell tags there, um, and it depends. Like so, our our the state is broken up into wildlife management units, WMUs. So depending on what you know, like everybody gets you can get a buck tag, like an either sex tag, so you can get a buck, get a doe, and like two what's called DMPs, deer management program. Those are doe tags. So you get like two of those, and you can select an area, that depending on the number of deer out in that area will determine whether or not you get, because that's a draw. That's a draw. So like if there's an area that's like not too much deer, they don't give too many tags in that area for, you might not draw a tag for that, and then you won't
Right.
have a DMP tag. But then like Westchester or Long Island, you put in for that area there, boom, you've got those tags, and then the minute you punch those tags, you can get more, and just keep going. So
Oh goodness
there's no
gracious.
shortage of it. No
Yeah, here in
shortage.
South Dakota, we got to draw. So for archery, you're guaranteed you apply, you get your tag in the mail. Now, if you're
Mm-hmm.
doing any kind of like rifle or like rifle deer, you got to get a tag and you got to apply for a specific county you're gonna hunt in.
Mm-hmm.
And then for like elk, that's like a once in a lifetime draw. They only
Yeah.
give out like a handful of tags. There's guys that's been on the list 15, 20 years and hadn't got a tag yet. And
Mm-hmm.
then anything like with fishing and pheasant hunting, you just go to say Walmart or Fleet Farm and walk in and get your tag. But it's easier just to buy it on your phone. You screenshot it, boom, you got it. So
Yeah.
that's the easiest way to do it around here. But so are there any dream hunts that you want to go on?
Man, to be honest, like I get offers to travel out of state to hunt and so on. Um, but I don't have any like bucket list hunts, man. Like maybe the
Yeah,
closest thing to like a dream hunt is to hunt elk, like but close to home. So like you can hunt elk in Pennsylvania, which is
right.
only a couple hours from here. But you know what? No, I'm lying. You know what I want to do? I do have the desire to to complete like a turkey grand slam.
So what would that consist of?
That it consists of, I don't know in what time frame you're supposed to do it, but it's where you can, because there's so many different, not so many, there's like about three or four different species of turkey, and I don't know if it's within one season, but like I don't know if it's a turkey slam or turkey grand slam, but either way the goal is to, within a certain time frame, travel and basically kill each one of those turkeys. So like
Oh
there's
man,
Osceolas, there's Miriam's, and what else is it? I guess Easterns, I guess they call. I'm not sure.
man, I can't remember, but I did a show with Hunter Ferrier,
Hmm.
and he's a big turkey hunter out of Mississippi, and he just wrote a book, or not just he wrote a book a year ago called Ballad of a Turkey Hunter,
Hmm.
and we had a whole show. He was because I thought a turkey was a turkey. I didn't know there was different breeds of turkey, and he gave me the game, and I was like, I did not know this. But he's a great guy. But I gotta get you connected with him too because he's real big on turkey, and he got a lot of tips and tricks on how to find
See,
them and how to bring them in.
So like one of the things is I'm really getting into turkey. Like I love it. I have a lot of fun with it. So if that was one, if that was I guess a bucket list thing is to complete, you know, a turkey slam and get all these different turkeys. Other than that, man, it's I'm happy just learning what I'm learning, my dude.
Yeah.
Like I like being out in the woods. I like seeing the deer. I mean, I'd like to kill one even better. You know what I'm saying? But it's all in due time. You know what I'm saying? It's
Oh
if
yeah.
it's in God's plan, it's in God's plan. And but
Exactly.
I'm just you know doing my best to get out there, learn what I can, and have fun doing it.
Oh yeah. Hey, it took me 3 years, man. It took me three. Actually, my second year, I got a shot off at a doe, but I must have hit her high, and I followed the blood trail, couldn't find her, and I just gave up. I'm like, I didn't kill her. And then this season, no, last season, we're looking at the game cam, and she's on it. I can see where she had a line there. I'm like, well, I know she made it, and I
Mm.
was hoping to come across her this year, but she was like, nah, not this year, buddy. Oh man, hey Cliff, man, I enjoyed it. It was a great show, man. You feel the people in on what's it like to hunt in New York City, and let the people know where they can find you at.
Man, first of all, thank you for having me. I
Oh
appreciate
yeah,
it. And you guys can find me on Instagram at UbanArcheryNYC. And pretty soon, all right, so I had a podcast, and it was really difficult, you know, recording, being at home and stuff like that. But one, you're inspiring me to get back into it. And two, I've been surprisingly enough, I've been getting a lot of people kind of pressing me like, yo, when you gonna come back out with an episode? Come
right.
so I'm really debating getting back into it. So I got a podcast. Like you guys can still you can listen to old episodes. It's called When the Hunt Calls.
Okay.
You and on all podcast platforms, and coming soon a lot more YouTube content. And the same thing, Urban Archery NYC. But the biggest platform for me has been Instagram. So at Urban
Instagram, yeah.
Archery NYC, give me a follow. If you ever see me, if you or your listeners and viewers ever see me post something, asking a question, please don't hesitate to drop a comment with, you know, whatever tips, tricks, and stuff, anything you're willing to share. And just know it's not only for me. While I do benefit from that information, it's really about trying to share that information with a lot more people and just getting out there.
Oh man, definitely, definitely, man. I will definitely be giving my little 2 cents in when I see you asking questions.
I
I'll
appreciate
definitely
that.
be adding my 2 cents because I love the interaction on Instagram. I don't I get it all the time. I don't post enough. I don't
Mhm.
interact with a lot of people enough. So my brother's like, bro, you gotta get on it, man. Definitely. But like
No
I
doubt.
said, Cliff, I appreciate it, man. It was a great show, and I look forward to having you back on.
No doubt. Same here, brother. Definitely. When I've killed my first deer, like you're the first podcast I've done in a while because I've told other people like, nah, I don't want to come back on until I finally killed my deer.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So I have that story to tell. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
and that's the best part of the hunt. Like I know people's putting the animal on the ground is great,
Mm-hmm.
but for me, it's telling that story. Cause
Agree.
like I don't know, I get it's kind of weird, but I feel like that deer's life lives on through my story,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, he's gone and he's going to provide food for me and my family, but I can pass his legacy on, through my storytelling, So
Yeah. See,
that's I
and
love telling the story.
I'm the same way, especially when and I tell people about my first turkey, and that like they see my eyes light up when I
Yep.
tell that story. So, all right,
Oh
brother.
man, it was fun, man. Hey, this has been another episode of the Dreaded Archer podcast, and we are out.